Today, we're diving into a really cool model for community health, one that flips the script by using something we all have, our own life experiences. We're going to look at an amazing organization in Montana that's forging a new path to recovery, all by turning personal struggle into a powerful force for healing.
So let's start with this question right here. Just think about it for a second. We live in a world that's all about degrees and credentials, right? But what if the toughest parts of your life, the struggles, the recovery, what if those were actually the things that made you the most qualified to help someone else? It's a huge idea, and honestly, it's the heart of everything we're about to talk about.
And that idea has a name: peer support. The concept is just, well, it's beautifully simple. It's all built on this core belief that people who've actually been down that difficult road of recovery are in a unique position to guide others. And you know why it works so well? It's because it just shatters those walls. It creates this instant connection, this shared understanding that you just can't get in a typical clinical setting. It's not about being a doctor. It's about being a guide who already knows the trail by heart.
Okay, so that's the theory, but how does this actually play out in the real world? Let's take a look at an organization that has built its entire mission around this very principle.
Meet Montana's Peer Network, or MPN. Now, the key phrase here is peer-run, and when they say peer-run, they mean it. This is not some traditional top-down nonprofit. The people leading and operating the organization are the very people it's designed to serve. Folks with lived experience are in the driver's seat, shaping the programs, making the calls, and making sure the support is real and relevant. And they've been doing this, building this thing from the ground up for over a decade now.
To really get how they make an impact, I want you to think about it like a ripple in a pond. It all has to start somewhere, with that first stone hitting the water. That first ripple is all about providing direct, one-on-one support for an individual's own recovery journey.
And they've got a whole toolkit of resources. This is not a one-size-fits-all approach. For example, something like the Recovery Talks podcast lets you hear stories from other people who've been there. You can't put a price on how much that reduces the feeling of being alone. Then you've got programs like Healthy Minds, Healthy Bodies, which connects physical wellness with mental recovery, showing people that taking care of your body is a huge part of healing your mind. These are real, tangible tools for a better life.
But here's the thing. The story doesn't end with just getting support. The magic of this model is when it turns that experience into a way to help others. And that brings us to the second ripple, training that next generation of supporters.
This is really where the whole thing becomes self-sustaining. MPN gives people a formal path to take their own life experience and turn it into a recognized, certified skill set. They can become a certified behavioral health peer support specialist. It basically professionalizes empathy. It validates their entire journey as a source of real expertise. And they were absolute trailblazers in this. That number, 40 hours, that represents a massive leap forward. MPN was the very first organization in Montana to create and roll out an intensive 40-hour certification training. They literally created the professional standard for a workforce that's built on shared experience.
And the journey doesn't just stop once you get the certificate. Nope, MPN is invested in the long haul. They offer continuing education to make sure their peer specialists are always growing, always learning, and always have the best tools to help others.
So, we've gone from helping one person to training that person to help others. And now, that circle gets even wider. This third ripple is all about strengthening the entire support system around them, the families, the caregivers, and even the professional providers in the community. And you can see just how tailored their approach is. On one side, you have their families division, which builds a dedicated network just for parents and caregivers, because they know that journey requires its own special kind of peer support. Then on the other side, they're consulting with employers and providers all over the country on how to bring the peer model into their own systems. So they're not just building a network, they're weaving it into the very fabric of the community.
So, we've seen the model, we've seen the structure, and we've seen the incredible reach. That brings us to our final section, which is all about the human impact. Because beyond all the programs and acronyms, the real story is how this work actually changes people's lives.
I mean, this quote really says it all, doesn't it? For so many people, this isn't just another training course, it's a completely life-altering experience. It just perfectly captures that moment when your past stops being a burden and starts becoming your purpose.
And then you see this, the professional impact. See, it's not just about an emotional high. It's about becoming better equipped for the job. This person walked away with actual, tangible tools they could use immediately in their work. It really shows you how practical and skill-focused these programs are.
This one speaks to the quality of the whole operation. Because, it's not enough to just have the lived experience. You have to know how to share it and teach it effectively. And this shows that MPN's leadership and training are absolutely top-notch.
And that brings us full circle. It all starts with one person's journey. That person gets help, then they get trained to help others. That growing network then strengthens families and professional systems. That is the ripple effect in action. It's this powerful, self-perpetuating cycle that truly transforms communities from the inside out.
So, I'll just leave you with this thought. The Montana Peer Network has given us an incredible blueprint. It proves that inside every single community, there's this deep well of experience and empathy just waiting to be tapped into. The only question left is, how could you start a ripple effect right where you are?